So let's do this. I said I wasn't gonna Jim Gray this thing. I'm not sure that that's entirely accurate.
So let me tell you about what I'm gonna do for the boys and girls club.
So
I want to talk about what I'm gonna do.
There's multiple layers here to this, and I know there's a lot of people tuning in on the stream, on the radio. We're really thankful. Let's get some obvious stuff. This is it's certainly a professional announcement. It's a very personal announcement for me and Kenny too. But let's start with ESPN business, because that's what you guys love. Like, is D'Lo and KC announcing a new show? Absolutely, we are. Just not today. Philadelphia, much like their sports fans, suck. And T's need to be crossed and I's need to be dotted. And yeah, there are some things coming to ESPN 1320. But that's not what today is about. I do want to take the opportunity, though, to recognize our man Charlie.
Big ups.
There's, as we said, there's multiple layers to what we have today. Our man Charlie, who was a big part of D'Lo and KC when the show started. Him and Jesse were kind of trading producing responsibilities. We've talked about Charlie before. Charlie has stepped in on short notice and filled in. He's done some great work for us. But Charlie does all of the really, really ugly stuff behind the scenes, like dealing with commercials, scheduling games, like he deals with all of that. And he recently got he recently got acknowledged for it. I would say he got a promotion, but he was already doing all of that stuff. He got a promotion in title to finally acknowledge all of the amazing work that he's been doing for ESPN 1320. So Charlie, you know, we're nowhere. We're stuck in the mud without you.
Straight up.
Because if I had to deal with what you deal with, I'd have quit. As much as I love this, I would have quit. So shout out to our brother Charlie. And one thing Charlie's been working really, really hard on, Robbed Up. Charlie Employee of the Month already happened.
Yeah, man.
He was already McDowell's Employee of the Month. Two-time, man. He as far as ESPN goes, Charlie should be 12-time Employee of the Month. But one thing that Charlie has been working on really, really hard is to secure the rights to the Las Vegas Raiders. And ESPN 1320 will be your home for Las Vegas Raiders football all season long.
That's what's up.
Charlie works really hard.
Raider Nation, stand up.
To make sure we've got the Raiders. He makes sure we've got the biggest baseball games. He makes sure we got the biggest NBA games. Like he does a great job, and he has worked really hard to secure the rights to the Las Vegas Raiders for us.
Yeah, man. Raider Nation, stand up, man. We got a lot of Raider fans in the chat, man. So big ups to y'all.
Yeah,
man.
that's something. Yeah. That's we take a trip down memory lane. Something I had to fight you and Danny in San Francisco about a little bit is y'all did not think Raider fans were out here. Now, Danny was so locked in on like the Bay Area. Oh, you talk Raider fans, they're turning off. Okay, Danny, this is Sacramento, bro. Like that doesn't happen here. Like there's a lot of Raider fans here. So for Charlie to recognize that and scoop them up, I thought that was a great plan.
Absolutely, man. Raider Nation is Raider Nation for a reason. Like it's not Raider East Bay.
Yeah,
Raider Nation. They're everywhere, man.
That's why it's Raider Nation.
Yeah.
It's not Oakland Raider Nation or Los Angeles Raider Nation or Las Vegas Raider Nation. It's Raider Nation. They go hard.
I was telling Mickey before the show, I said, you know, she's a Raider fan or whatever. I told her I'm gonna get her some Niner gear. It's all good. And she was like, man, I'm glad to hear, you know, what you guys got going on 1320 here in the Raider games or whatever. I love to hear it. I was like, yeah, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like the Raiders moved, but their fans did not move to Vegas. There's still a bunch of Raider fans in the region and surrounding region. And we got them right here. ESPN 1320, baby.
And shout out to Matt George, who I think is just tuning in and didn't hear all the love that we gave him earlier in the show. He's noting we're just following Jimmy Garoppolo around. That's really what it boils down to. We're just following Jimmy Garoppolo everywhere. We're not actually your home for Raider Nation. We're your home for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's just kind of how this goes. I also we're also airing Cowboy games all year.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, Jazz will be happy.
well, and there you go. Maybe that will get Jazz to stop screaming at you for a while. So in terms of live sports, we've got you covered. Now, Charlie's not the only person who got a promotion. Come on, man. Let's let our man Jesse.
Yeah, man. Meet the air horns, big dog. Meet the air horns.
We have said this for eternity. We're fortunate enough, Kenny and I are fortunate enough to have our names on this show, dealing with KC. But it's a 3-person show.
Straight up.
And Jesse has, like, in quick order, figured out YouTube, the algorithms on YouTube, the algorithms on Twitter. Like, he knows what to title the show. Sometimes the title doesn't fit what we're doing for 4 hours. Yeah, we're doing it for clicks. Get off our back. Jesse knows how to get views for our show. And one very popular topic of conversation in our hallways with the people who matter the most here in terms of vice presidents, operations managers, salespeople, is our video stream and the Chatty House and that crew. And Jesse's been such a big part of that. Jesse is, I call Jesse the executive producer of ESPN 1320. He's going to play he's obviously the driving force behind this show. And he's going to play a big hand in what we've got coming up. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, whatever you think that show we're adding is, you're right. It's that. And when it's time to announce it, we will. And believe me, we will be very, very excited. We've worked for years to bring that to you. And the reason for all of this, another thing we've worked years on, really since the launch of Corners of the Culture. Corners of the Culture was launched for a very specific reason. And it was, we wanted to stretch out a little bit and do something with our love for hip hop and the culture. And we thought, this would be a great way to do some work with KSFM, who's in our cluster here, our family here in Sacramento. And, we launched it. We thought you guys made it a huge success. So thank you, as always. It got off to a great start, but it never really went anywhere. And this is where the Jim Gray portion of this comes into play, because this story has to be told. Mm-hmm. And I said it before and right after that live broadcast at Sky River changed a lot of things for D'Lo and KC and for ESPN 1320. And I joked that a lot of people in our company in this building were hearing our show for the very first time. And they'll tell you they weren't, but they did. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, they saw you for the first time. They saw the Chatty House for the first time. Yeah. They saw those D'Lo and KC hoodies. They saw those D'Lo and KC t-shirts, and they looked around like, what the hell is happening here? So to the 200 plus people who came out to 32 Brew Street in Sky River, we hope that you're back September 21st for our next live broadcast.
Yeah.
And thank you, because there was one other person who was there that day. He's a guy that you've heard us reference a couple of times here on the show, our man Complex. Complex now runs 102.5. He runs 106.5 The End. And he was there on what was essentially his job interview that day. Now, the unique thing about Complex is he is well respected in this industry.
Straight up.
Our company wasn't interviewing him. He was interviewing the company. Mm-hmm. And when he saw that group show up at 32 Brew Street, I think we got something here. And that's what the announcement is. Beginning on August 14th, when we wrap up here on ESPN 1320, we'll be on the air with you every single day, 12 to 4, just as we are now. Then we're going to flip this studio into the KSFM studio and host the afternoon drive show over there.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, man. D'Lo and KC, 3 to 7 every day on KSFM 102.5. This is major.
It's pretty crazy because the people like the like our vice president, our operations manager, they keep coming to us going, no one's ever done this before. And I don't know if they're trying to scare us out of it or hype us up. I'm not really. They just keep saying, no one's ever tried this before.
Yeah.
No one's ever hosted a sports show and then gone on and done a show in on a music station like this. Like, there have been secondary hosts that have done it. There have been guys that have filled in on one or the other to try to exercise their different muscles. No one has ever. It's D'Lo and Casey on ESPN 1320. It's D'Lo and Casey on 102.5. Like, they keep telling us no one's ever done that before. So obviously we're really, really excited about it. You guys know how much we love hip hop. You know how much we love music. And let's address this right now. Wait a minute. 3:00? Yes, 3:00. But don't worry. The magic of radio will take care of that first hour. We are still live on ESPN 1320 from 12 to 4 every single day. And the magic of radio will take care of that first hour. We'll flip over to KSFM and do our thing over there from 3 to 7.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. Like, I always like had like little I had dreams, man. I had dreams of even when I was in LA about what it was going to look like to come back to Sacramento. And when I with the family decided to come back to Sacramento, because let's be honest, Jazz, Reese, they would have been just fine in Los Angeles. They trusted me and followed me, and I didn't come back here just to come back here, right? It was like, if I'm gonna make this move, I want to do some big things. I want to, and then just my nature and the way I go, I want to take over the world. And I'm gonna start with Sacramento, right? And I had a vision of, I talk sports, I love music. I talk sports, I love music, and I was like, how can I do either one or both preferably, but either one. And shout out to my people over at 97.5 KDE, man. Supporting local radio, supporting community radio, man. They supported me. They gave me an opportunity to share my vision with what I was able to do over there, man. And shout out to Marvell, RIP Marvell, Mr. Stone, Angelise, my man Tristan, all those people over there, man. Leon, they showed me so much love and support. And that's where I was able to kind of like get my reps in. And then the sports job came. I was like, all right, I'm super excited about this. I love this. I love sports. This is dope. And then when I started to like understand the way things were made, I was like, oh, 1320 at the time, Intercom, they own 102.5. I was like, damn, I don't really have no pull yet, man, but I could, man, if they need somebody on a Saturday for an hour, you know what I'm saying, I could pull up. But like I said, I didn't know how these things work. So I just kind of, waited my time, waited. And then when I got to know you more and know your background and actually know where your passion was and what you had an eye on, we started talking. It was like, well, there's a way. Let's do this. Like, let's get over there. We ain't never gonna leave sports because this is what we do.
Yeah.
But let's find a way to be a part of that. And who knows what it'll be. We thought maybe it's on the podcast, or just our podcast will be on there on a Thursday morning or Thursday, whatever the case may be. And like you said, when Complex came around and he saw what we were able to do and he believed in what we could be, we're like, well, can we get a whole show in here? Let's get a whole show. Let's do this. And I want to give a big shout out, like I said, to Jazz, because she's supported me. She's like, that's a lot. It's a lot going on. I have an 8-month-old at the house who is daily getting closer and closer and plotting how to get out of that pack and play. She's climbing that thing a little bit more every day. She's all over the place. And the support I got from my family, though, to be able to go and do this and live this out and be able to do this is something I'll never forget. And it goes back to why I came back here in the first place. Came back here to help put Sacramento on the map in a major way. It's not just the capital city. I said it a couple of weeks ago in a tweet. I think this is the most slept on city in America. And there's a lot of great people here. There's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of great things to do here. And now with my man Damien, we get an opportunity to kind of shine a light on these things and bring them to the forefront and create at here in Sacramento, not just on the sports side, but now with hip hop and R&B and with the culture and everything like that. And I'm excited beyond belief to get this opportunity. I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, it all begins August 4th, August 14th, excuse me. It begins August 14th. So I'll be away beginning tomorrow. And when I get back, that'll be our first day of ESPN 1320 and KSFM together. Big E asked, didn't D'Lo start out with 102.5? That's right. I started in 2001 as an intern and got my shot there, and had a program director that for whatever reason believed in me despite the fact I was terrible. Y'all have heard the clips of my voice before. I don't know why I sounded like that, but he believed in me, and that gave me an opportunity to he gave me an opportunity to learn. He gave me an opportunity to make mistakes, and everything he taught me at KSFM, I've been able to implement here on ESPN 1320 and as a sports talk show host. And I think the fact that not only that we get to do something unique together, and when I say we, I don't just mean me and Kenny or me, Kenny and Jesse. I mean like us, like the people watching, particularly the people in the stream, because you guys made them believe in us. We were a very they remember, if you recall, when this show started nearly 3 years ago, we were 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us 2 hours, and it was kind of like, all right, this will like shut them up. Just let them do it. And then it was like, oh, it's pretty good. We could probably make a little more sense out of it if we go 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And they're already streaming to see, they're already on camera to see each other. So let's stream it. So it became, this kind of slow evolution of what D'Lo and Casey was. And you guys have built this audience, this chatty house, this group on the Odyssey app, the TuneIn app, 1320 AM, 98.5 FM. You guys built this show and this station from scratch.
Yeah, man.
Like from literally nothing. We know that the programming surrounding us is tough. And Greeny's not talking Kings. Greeny hasn't lit the beam yet. You know what I mean? Like I understand that that's tough. So the fact that you guys have, Kenny had the line the other day that we're the number 1 and 2 sports show in this market. We had an idea to take the best of what we do, 12 to 4, throw it in afternoon drive from 4 to 6, so the people who missed it on the radio can catch up.
Mm-hmm.
That's become the top sports show in the market. So there's that. When Kenny said we're number 1 and 2, that's what he's referring to, man. But there's so much more growth. There's so much more that we want to do here with D'Lo and KC. There's so many more rides we want to bring you on. We talked about September 21st. We are doing a live 4-hour show from Sky River Casino, just like we did earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first night of the it's the 49ers home opener that night on Thursday Night Football. We'll be there to watch part of it with you. We'll eat, we'll drink, we'll do the show, we'll watch football. Then what we'll do is we'll throw some different clothes on, head over to the Golden One Center, and we'll be hosting the YG concert out there. That's a 102.5 Present show. So YG, Sweetie, is it Tyga? Who else is there?
And YG, Tyga, and Sweetie.
Yeah, like we're hosting that show at the Golden One Center. We're going to be a big part of Soul Bloom. We've got stuff coming up with Mario. We've got stuff coming up with Ty Dolla $ign. We hope that the addition of KSFM adds a little bit more, flavor to D'Lo and KC.
Yeah.
And we think this is a well-seasoned show. Ain't no bland chicken over here. But that doesn't mean we can't be better. And I think the addition of KSFM is going to allow this show to be even better.
Yeah, man. I'm so excited with everything that is ahead of us for this show. And once again, I want to thank everybody that's listening, man. This wouldn't happen if you guys didn't support the way you guys have supported us, so whether it's through the stream or on social medias or on the radio or creating a buzz, even the merch. People, we go to the Kings games and you see D'Lo and Casey stuff still to this day. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't have it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you guys, man. So this is just part of what's going on. We bring in more heat. We're not done. We're not done. This ain't over. This is just another chapter, another ability to bring more heat, whether it's sports, content, events, all this stuff here to Sacramento, man. This is all part of it, man.
It is. And you think, Jazz, I'll thank the people in my life too, because I am difficult to deal with. And adding, I see a comment. Where'd Alfonso go? Alfonso said something like, "Don't that's a lot. Don't burn out. We need you from 12 to 4." Alfonso, baby, we made different. This is what we here for. Ain't no burnout here, man. This is what we here for. We have, and the show does officially start. By the way, it's August 14th, but next Friday we're airing a special 50th anniversary of hip hop show. It's a show we've already recorded. It is a meticulously detailed show that's going to air from 3 to 7 on 102.5. It's basically if Corners of the Culture had music, that's what it would be. So to give you an idea, the show starts at 3:00. So from like 3 to 3:20, you'll hear a mix that covers like 1973 to 1989. And you'll hear us talking about like that era of hip hop. And then it'll move on in chronological order till we get to, 6:30, where we're in the current time talking about Drake. We'll talk about the death of Nipsey Hussle, Pac, Big. We'll talk about we're having a conversation about Kanye West and his contributions to music. We'll talk about Hove and his come up and Nas. Yeah. Like it is, I'm really, really proud of this. And again, it is a meticulously detailed show that begins on August 11th, 3:00 on August 11th, celebrating 50 years of hip hop. That's the actual 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Yeah, that's going to be dope. That's going to be really dope.
So that's it. That's what we've been teasing. When I posted The Rock, I'm finally, The Rock has come back home. It's time to go home, man. It's time to go home. And shout out to Aaron. I was having a conversation about Aaron, who's our operations manager, man. That dude gets stuff done. He's been here for a year and he shook up like 3 different radio stations here and put them in better positions than before he got here. So shout out to our man, Aaron. He no-sells every big move that D'Lo and Casey make, but I think he secretly loves us. And to Stacey Kaufman, who is our boss, I can't say enough great things about her. I love her to absolute death. Yeah. Like I love her to death.
They've shown a lot of love for what we do. They've shown a lot of support for what we do. Like you said, coming from 2 hours, you know what I mean? 2 hours. Somebody was telling me that's just nothing but an extended podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's really what it was. It was, I sang the praises of Matt George. I think back to Marshall Harris. We've been really fortunate, like with building this show. People come on the show because they like the show. That's how our relationship with James Ham started. Like James was just the guy we'd have, a Kings guy we'd have on once in a while. And I remember it like it was yesterday. We did a phone interview with him, just like we normally do. He was headed to the arena. He hung up and he listened to the rest of the show. And then he called me the next day. He was like, "Hey, I got a chance to hear you guys when I was done. Like, I really like your show. It's a lot of fun. Like Kenny's really good." And that kind of started the conversation. And James was like, I know how this business works, but I'd really like to come on more. Don't worry about like, paying and talent. Like, I just really would like to do the show more. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And when we got James, when James started doing the camera stuff and kind of loosened up a little bit, and we started to learn, different parts of James Ham, different elements to James, like it, that it was birthed from, he liked the show. Yeah. And when NBC let him go, it was like, this is easy. This is James. Come on, man. Come on.
rock with us, man.
And there's more ahead for James. So but to Marshall and James, even in Deuce and Mo and all of the people who used to appear with us weekly just because they appreciated the show, man, they played a role in the growth of this as well.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about ourselves enough. We'll come back. I don't know what we're doing when we get back.
Talking about the Boys and Girls Club.
We're talking about what?
Talking about the Boys
We'll
and Girls
talk about
Club.
the boys. Yes, we will. We'll talk about our donation. Yeah, and God bless me for donating to the Boys and Girls Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. Literally the richest city in the country.